Hey, it's Jabo. Welcome to BrickTsar. This is your home for vintage Lego. And in this video, we're going to be answering your questions. I call this BrickTsar Answer Thingy, a name that was coined by a viewer that never came back again for some reason. He said, when are you going to do that BrickTsar Answer Thingy again? Apparently, he could see into the future and see that I would get the questions and not answer them for weeks at a time. So I'm way behind on answering these. I'm going to answer a few of the questions here in this video or podcast, if you want to call it that. BrickTsar Files, where I answer your questions and talk about whatever I want, whatever else I want to talk about. So I got to try to do this in one take, so we'll see how everything goes. Anyway, I'm using TheyMightBeBricks computer to film this. I'm filming also. The camera is a GoPro 3, so the quality may not be the greatest in the world, but I don't care because this is BrickTsar. It's more about the content than the quality. So I need to get to the questions. So I need to pull that up on my screen. I'm going to try to share it. Hopefully this works. If I do my share screen, you should see what I'm looking at, and then you should see a little version of me in the corner. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But anyway, let me get to the questions. I had so many that I haven't answered yet. Mayo Hosco says, are you ever going to do a review on the Unitron monorail set? Actually, he said a detailed review of the Unitron monorail set. Probably at some point. I think that video is just us playing with it, trying it out. Never did go into detail with it. Actually got missing parts now that I got to probably reacquire because we used those parts from that set with other things. Did some modifications to it, and so I got to figure out how to fix all that. So that is the first question we'll answer. And you notice he has hashtag BAT. That's how I'm searching these in my comment section. There are other questions that don't use that. I'll try to figure out if I want to answer some of those too. Maybe not in this video, but in future videos. Because not everybody knows to leave that hashtag, but that's the best way for me to find the comments when I go weeks and weeks without answering them. He has another one here from Mayo. So, was Pinlug the first people to use BMR rolling stock? Well, I'm assuming since the members of Pinlug are the founders of Brick Model Railroaders, so yes, that would be. I think that would be a yes, but I'm just guessing. And some of these I've already answered. So, what's my white whale now? This is a question from Duran Price. And I said that's an interesting question. I have to come up with a good answer for that. So that's the one. So white whale is the holy grail, is another word that people might use. It's the set that you really, really want to get. And to me, this is not going to be any current sets or anything from recent years. Although recently there was that giveaway of the Jurassic World dinosaur set. That might be my white whale. I don't know how I'm ever going to get that one. That was an exclusive giveaway prize that was very hard to win. I don't even know what the number of that, but that's right up there with sets that I would love to get. They were exclusives, but I don't want to pay the exorbitant price to get them. So thinking back of some older sets, probably the 138 whistle train. Is called electronic train, but it's the one with the stop, forward, and reverse features on that one. So set 138. We'll say that is my white whale. And then a Brick in Time says, how did you make that? The Thomas train neck. That's actually a Mattel product. It's the Trackmaster walking bridge. So it's I treated it like it was an AT-AT from Star Wars. Bricks. Wait a minute, Brian's Brick Barn. Don't say that 3 times fast. He says, Bat, how often do you put Lego inventory into your store? Just whenever I can. It's not any kind of regular basis that I do that. I did just make a purchase from Target. Thank you, Mardi Gras Man 23, who was telling me I should probably get these because they have a good part out value. So I did purchase a big box of stuff from Target. I'm probably not going to do a haul on it. I bought some more of the Friends set. They were 20% off. When I say Friends, the TV show Friends, not the Lego thing Friends. And I got some other sets that were more than almost 40% off. I'm going to be parting those out and put those in my store. But it's not, I'm not actively seeking things to buy to put into the store. But when I get a lot of, usually it's when I start getting a lot of empty drawers, I'm like, I need to fill these drawers up. So then I'll try to figure out what I want to put in there and look for things that are a good deal. All right, Mardi Gras Man's talking about the the robot polybag, Marvelous magazine. He says, so is it buy the magazine, get a free polybag, or buy the polybag, get a free magazine? I think it's buy the polybag, get a free magazine, because I'm more interested in the little foil packs or polybags that come with those. A Brick in Time, another question, says, have you had the chance to review some of the set minifigure collection analysis features on BrickTsar, or would you be willing to do that for us A-Fools? So uh, in the A-Fool podcast I did with Mardi Gras Man, who left the previous comment we just mentioned, and Brick Trains, I did say that I need to learn more about that. Brick Trains was trying to teach Joey. He was trying to teach me how to use more of those features. So I probably should learn more of that and do an update video of how to use that on BrickTsar. I'm going to download that stuff to my computer, use Google Documents. I think I can edit things. I'm going to try it because I used to have the old computer I had all of the great things like Excel and stuff, but that computer died and I wasn't able to put the stuff on TheyMightBeBricks computer, but I think I can use the Google things. I'm going to skip a couple here from Mayo, might consider them in another video. Let's get up here. What are some more questions we got? Oh, here's one from Lego Man 12345 12345. He's actually sent us stuff before. He says, what if Lego still had their old Lego? And he pulls up, I guess you know what, I'm going to click on this link. It's dangerous to do, but so you can see it if those that are watching this as a video. This is the old Lego logo. So now I got to go back to the comments. I don't know, hopefully that showed. I don't know if when I was sharing it just showed the one window and I popped up another window, it didn't show. Anyway, the old Lego logo. He said, what if Lego still had their old logo to this day? What kind of effect would this have on Lego Group and their products? Would it affect their popularity? This because the square logo is so well known today and so symbolic for the Lego Group. So I think, you know, a lot of times that brands will update their logos over the year because you don't want to have something that looks dated. And the one thing about the old Lego logo, it does look like it's from the 50s. I don't know if that's because I know it's old already, but it's just the 50s had its own kind of style. And so you don't want to have something that just looks dated. Like you could have something that looked like it came right from the 80s. And so that you see people that will update their logos. And even though the red square logo has changed a little bit over the years, and it's possible that in the future it could change again, although this is the longest I think they've gone with a logo that looks the same or similar. So I think it was smart to change it to match with the current times. But who knows? I don't know if they'd left it the same, would it have affected sales? Possibly. Brand recognition, possibly. That red square stands out more, I think, than that oval logo. So Andrew S., this question here about the sticky tires, I did a video dedicated to this. It's the one where I tried to build a set blindfolded. So check that out. Oh my goodness, this cannot be all the questions. Here's one from Pinfold. It says, Bet, what and when was the first ball of any kind except wooden sets that Lego ever had in the set? Oh, the first ball. Well, there was the Duplo had the plastic balls. I'm going to say that. Somebody check it, see if I'm wrong. The large Duplo plastic balls, I will say, came before the soccer ball, I would say. Because I think the soccer ball came out in the late 90s, I want to say, but the Duplo plastic ball probably came before that. So that's what I'm going to go with. And there's got to be more questions than this. Maybe I've just skipped so many. Let's scroll down. Oh, okay, I need to go backwards. George S. says, will you be replacing your Bricklink store storage system with the Big League boxes from IKEA? Absolutely not. I will not be buying that stuff. I do not see any reason why I should buy the IKEA boxes. I'd rather spend that money on more stack-on equivalent products. But no, I will not be buying the Big League boxes. There were some that Toys R Us made that were not Toys R Us, that were sold at Toys R Us, and at you can get them other online avenues. I got a bunch of those, and those are better, in my opinion. They came with little sorting trays inside them. Those are better than the Big League boxes, but they don't make those anymore either. I said, Mardi Gras Man 23 says, is there a set that you bought in quantity to part out and forgot to keep one for yourself? Now you're kicking yourself because you parted all of them out. I can't think of one specifically, although I did end up stealing parts from the friend set, so I had to go buy more friend sets. I do want to keep one of those for myself. I think I've sold sets that I kind of wish I'd kept them. Like I had a large quantity of them. Oh, you know what? The Final Duel 2, I bought 200 copies of those and did not keep one for myself. Parted them all out, all of them. And so there's remnants of those parts, I think, in my store today. All the figures have been sold, I think, and all the good plates have been sold from that. But I didn't keep one of those sealed for myself. Like I should have kept one sealed and then had one open and built that I kept. And I didn't for that. And that's kind of a small set, but I'm sure there's other examples of things like that where I parted them out. Keep in mind, I've only been parting out sets for really the last 16 years at the most. And that it started with that set. I think 2004 was the first year I started parting things out. But yeah, there's a lot of sets I've probably sold. Wish I'd kept a copy of it. All right, Mayo Hosco says, how did Lego fans who were well-known MOC builders in the early 2000s get to design official Lego sets? Were Lego desperate for low-cost labor or something after the company nearly went bankrupt before Bionicle? It's probably not wrong. So they did run contests, I think, where you can enter, and that's how ones like Fazoom and Mark over there, his friend Mark, they both designed a couple of sets. There were a few other designs. Joe Mino contributed to one of those sets. There were only 7 of those Lego Factory sets. And they got, I think they got some bulk brick bonuses for that. You have to, maybe one day I interview Fazoom and he can go more into detail about that. I think he actually did talk about it over on Bricksmith's channel at one time. But yeah, you're not wrong. They didn't get like royalties for what they made. Probably didn't get paid enough for what they designed. But they didn't do a lot of those either. And there were some other fan models that I don't think were really credited. I think the My Own Train might have been fan designed. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think they got a lot. I don't think it was worth what they got for what they did. Oh, another one from Mayo. Mayo asks a lot of questions, by the way. He's like a super viewer. He says, this is about the 4.5 volt motor tender engines. Is how many train sets have the stop signal piece? I don't know. I'd have to search that up. It's the little red or white piece that it hits. I think it's the piece he's talking about. It's not interesting enough for me to look up. There's a bunch of sets. It's not, the white one's less common than the red one, but there's enough sets with both of them that they're not rare parts. Andy Kills You, what is your favorite brick Lego has ever made? Sometimes I think like the 1x1 plate, that's a very useful piece, and it didn't exist in the early days of Lego. It surprises you sometimes when you see when some of these parts came out. But the one by one plate's a very useful piece. I don't know if it's not my favorite piece. It'd probably be something weird like the Dora the Explorer sound brick, something like that. I should really think of that. I should do a video of like my top favorite pieces, maybe top 10 favorite Lego pieces. And it's not, the criteria is not how useful it is. It's just, it's very interesting to me. The playback brick in the, what's that? The Zooters. And I can't remember which Zooter. There's only 3 Zooters, but there's one of them where you can talk into it. It records it. And then when you push the button, it plays it back. And that's a pretty neat little piece for the time that it came out. Here's one from David S. He says, do you have any advice for someone wanting to start selling Lego part-time, Bricklink or something like that? My best advice to you is learn how to ship. Learn the ins and outs of shipping with the postal service in your area, your country. Learn that, and then start with something simple like eBay, to sell an item on eBay. And that, because I think eBay is a little easier to use than Bricklink, even though the fees are higher. And as long as you know how to ship and respond to emails, Bricklink's not that hard. I think just there's a lot of ins and outs. There's so many tutorials about Bricklink now on YouTube. I've done some. Some of the tutorials may be a little out of date, but the basics of those tutorials still apply. But just start small. Start with eBay before you start with Bricklink. Andrew Nixon. Whoa, that's a long one. There's a question in here. So we're going to skip. I think I read this before. Oh, this is pretty, I do remember reading this now. This is bat number 1. It says, on Bricklink, there are not currently any new copies of 6402. That's a Paradisa set for sale. But the history has 2 sets having sold for $48 and $56. I appreciate that feature, but there is really no way to know if these sets were complete with box, etc. Right? No, there actually is a way. You can choose, and I may need to do a tutorial for that in a future video, but you can choose to search complete only or sealed only, I think it is. But you can choose that because there are a lot of people that sell new sets, but they'll be missing the minifigures. Like they've removed the minifigure, they're selling incomplete used, incomplete but new. So there are ways that you can sort that search where you don't get the low ball prices from people that are just selling the set without the minifigures, things like that. He says, it's helpful information for sure to give you an idea, but really no way to know the specifics. You can get a better idea if there is more data, of course. Just wondering when it's more limited like that, how much stock you can put in the numbers. They seem reasonable in this case, as the most expensive set currently listed is at $40. This is just one example that I currently have, and I'm always curious. So the rule of thumb with any item for sale on Bricklink is don't sell it for less than you want to sell it for. And those price guides are just that. They are just guides. They are neither an indication of what you could sell it for or what somebody is willing to pay for it. So I would just, use your best guess is what you would want. Sometimes people will have crazy prices in there, too high and sometimes even too low. All right, the next question he has is, I'm having a little bit of a mental dilemma with the other 2 sealed Paradisa bags from set 6411. Completing the set isn't practical, which eliminates that option. Says I'd almost have to guess that the sealed bags apart might be more valuable if someone needed them for the set or other sets with similar parts. One of the bags has the complete build for the vintage palm tree, which was cool. I could just open the bag and use the parts myself. I could upgrade a used tree in my old pirate sets or an additional tree or something like that, something custom eventually. But then I was wondering, looking at the price of the new palm trees on Bricklink, while not a very well thought out question, do you have any thoughts on recommendations or what you would do? if you got some, but not enough sealed parts for a vintage set. I've not sold any Lego yet. For now, I'll probably just hold on to them sealed. Probably that's your own suggestion is probably what you would do. Just hold on until you think you might know what you want to do. I did have a couple of, I actually got a Paradisa set that has some sealed bags that's incomplete. Also, like you said, I got a couple of sealed bags. Some of the bags were open, so it's like there are still those one or two sealed bags that I have, and like you, I haven't decided what I want to do with them. I had another set, Darth Vader, one of the buildable figure Darth Vader's, one of the original one, and it was sealed, except for it was missing a few pieces. So I had most of the sealed bags. I think there was one bag that was open, and I ended up getting like 2 more copies of this set. So this one that I had the new pieces, I actually just went ahead and parted it out and put those new parts in my store. It may not have been the best thing to do. I might have should have tried to sell the bags. The thing about that, selling the bags, I think you'd have to sell it on eBay where you can have that picture in the description. You can list partial sets on eBay, on Bricklink, and say it's just bag 2 only or something like that. But I don't like those kind of listings on Bricklink, to be honest with you. All right, and this will be the last question for this video, and this is another one that I probably should do a tutorial on. This is from BrickTrains. Check out the A Fool podcast over on BrickTrains channel. He says, what is the easiest way to raise or lower your prices in Bricklink or compare current prices against sales average? I feel that the parts values can change over time, up and down. So the best way I find is that as you upload, set the price. Like if you're upload, I use software to do it, that BrickTsar software. So I set it when I upload to the selection that I make is that it changes the price to whatever I'm uploading. So I've already got the part in the store and I'm adding more of it. The price that I'm adding it, or the price that I have for it now is going to be what it sets it to. So if it's higher, it'll raise it. If it's lower, it'll lower it. And that kind of keeps your inventory close to what is actually selling. And then another thing you could do is close your store, download your entire inventory into BrickTsar, make your adjustments, and then re-upload it. I guess you could do that. I've never done that, and I have too many parts in my store to risk that. I don't really want to do that. But yeah, that's why I haven't done that. So that's where we're going to stop. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I hope this video worked, but that's a good question from BrickTrains. That's probably one that I should attempt at some day to show. Well, I know I've done a video uploading parts, and when you upload them using BrickTsar and you choose that option to use the new price in remarks, then it will set the price accordingly. And then sometimes it's more of a random thing. When I'll see that a price, something hasn't sold, I might lower the price on that. So, but when you get thousands of lots in your store, that could become tedious. But over time, I don't worry about it too much. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Thank you, TheyMightBeBricks, for letting me use your computer. I hope this video turns out. If it doesn't, oh well, you'll never know, right? So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Use the hashtag BAT. That helps me find your comments easier, and hopefully I'll do another one of these videos not in the too distant future. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm BrickTsar. Actually, I'm Jabba. The channel's BrickTsar. I'm going to stop recording now.